Hey guys, welcome to Pen Industry. Hope you are doing good. I am Dr. Aishwarya with you for easy learning and better understanding. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and press the bell icon for the latest upcoming videos. Hey guys, today our topic is functional matrix theory. I have given you rest of the theories in my previous video, so let's get started with the functional matrix theory. FM, the basic is FM functional matrix. FM FM is also functional Melvin-Morse. Functional matrix Melvin-Morse. You can easily remember this. This is the trick here. FM functional matrix Melvin-Morse. What Melvin-Morse has given? Melvin-Morse has given the hypothesis. He claimed that the origin, form, position, growth and maintenance of all skeletal tissue. What? Origin, their form, their position, their growth and maintenance of all the skeletal tissue and organs are always secondary, compensatory, necessary response to chronologically and morphologically prior events, process that occur in non-related tissue. That means whatever things are happening in the non-skeletal tissue, that is directly proportional to the skeletal tissue. Skeletal tissue are cartilage, bone, these things are skeletal tissue, and non-skeletal tissue are nerves, tissue, skin, the systems of our body, these are non-skeletal tissue. So whatever changes occurring in the non-skeletal tissue will make the changes in the skeletal tissue. This Melvin-Morse has said. What he has said, that the origin, the form, position and growth and maintenance of skeletal tissue are always secondary, compensatory and necessary response to what? To chronologically and morphologically. That is, chronologically it will going to change and morphologically it will going to change prior events or process that occur in non-skeletal tissue. The events which are occurring in the non-skeletal tissue, non-skeletal organs or the functional spaces, that is matrix. So what he has said, whatever non-skeletal changes are happening in the body will directly proportional to the skeletal changes. This was the hypothesis of Melvin-Morse in functional matrix theory. Theory is there is a no genetic influence on the size, shape or position of skeletal tissue, only the initiation of ossification. That is, ossification does not start here. The size, the shape and the position of the skeletal tissue is not the genetic influence. And the skeletogenic activity, whatever skeletogenic activity is happening is primarily depend upon the FM, functional matrix theory. Now we are going to see the flowchart of functional matrix theory. This will make you easy what it contains. The skeletal part, the functional matrix part, we're going to cover that. Functional cranial components comes under functional matrix theory. As I have told you before, that whatever skeletal unit changes will going to occur, this will going to occur because of the non-skeletal tissue. That is functional matrix tissue. This will make the changes in the skeletal units. Okay. So functional cranial components, the functional cranial components, they are tissue and spaces. The tissue spaces which are present in the body, they are the functional cranial components. They are known as functional cranial components. As per Melvin-Morse, the respiration, digestion, hearing, etc., each one function carried out by tissue and space in the head. As you know this, so the head, which is having the tissue as well as the space, they are going to do the respiration, digestion, hearing and rest of the function. So they are in the functional cranial components. The functional cranial component is divided into two parts, that is functional matrix and the skeletal unit. In functional matrix, there comes a tissue, blood vessels, teeth. Teeth also comes in functional matrix. And in skeletal units, there comes a skeletal part, cartilaginous part, then microskeleton. Skeleton is further divided into micro and macroskeleton. Microskeletals are the bones which are present if wholesome maxilla and mandible is the macroskeleton. So in mandible, the mental bone, the condylar bone, these are small bones. These are microskeleton, and the wholesome bone, that is whole mandible, is the macroskeleton. So this is the distinguish between the micro and the macroskeletal bones. Periosteal matrix, they directly change the skeletal unit. That means the direct change happens when the direct periosteal changes. That means whenever the change in the periosteal takes place, the skeletal unit will going to change. That is, transformation takes place. Transformation, that the shape, the size of the skeletal unit will going to change. This is the transformation. Because of the periosteal matrix, the transformation takes place. Why transformation takes place? Because in periosteal matrix, there present a muscle. Okay, there present a muscle. There present a blood vessels. There present a nerve vessels, glands covers in periosteal matrix, teeth. Our teeth present in periosteal matrix, and the temporalis muscles. What are the temporalis muscles are there? They are present in the periosteal. So whenever we are going to change the muscle, the change in skeletal unit will going to take place. Whenever we are going to change the blood vessels, nerve, gland and teeth, the skeletal unit will going to change. If the teeth, there is a change in the teeth, there is a change in the occurrence of the teeth, so the whole skeletal unit will going to change. Okay. So in periosteal matrix, it changes the macroskeleton. That is, changes will going to occur in the microskeleton. Because of the periosteal matrix, direct changes will going to occur and transformation will going to occur in the microskeletal units. In capsular matrix, this happens indirectly. Indirectly means the changes which are going to happen in the capsular matrix, they will be indirect changes, and the translation will going to occur here. That is, change in the position will going to occur. Translation is change in the position and transformation is change in the shape and size of the body. So the capsular matrix consists of the surrounding mass and the space. Okay. Examples of capsular matrix are neural mass, that is neurocranial region, and the orofacial region. In neurocranial region, neural mass, the skin, the dura mater comes under the neurocranial region. Skin, dura mater, these comes under the neurocranial component. And the cerebrospinal fluids, CSF, which is present in the brain region, cerebellum region, and leptomeninges and the brain itself. These comes under neurocranial component. And in orofacial component, the function consists of the functioning spaces and the tissue which comes under deglutinization, respiration, swallowing. That is the tissue which are responsible for the respiration and the deglutinization and respiration. The tissue which comes under these things, they are the orofacial components. The capsular matrix give rise to local epigenetic factors that control the growth. Okay. Expansion, when the expansion of capsular matrix will going to takes place, this will lead to the translation of the whole bone, whole skeletal unit. what is going to do? When the volume will increase, when the volume will increase or the volume will decrease, it will translate the whole bone, whole skeletal unit. This translation, this will going to occur in the macroskeletal component. Capsular will translate the macroskeletal unit, and transformation will going to happen in the microskeletal units. We are going to learn about the skeletal units in detailed manner. We have seen the capsular matrix, the periosteal matrix, which comes under functional cranial component, that is tissue as well as the space. Skeletal units. In skeletal units, this is the component macro as well as the macro. That means the combination is because of the micro as well as the macroskeletal units. In macroskeletal units, what's come? It composed, as I told you, the small bones which are going to combine and form the macroskeletal units, that is the large bone. These are the macroskeletal region or the unit. And as I have told you, the macroskeletal is the large bone. In macroskeletal units, it consists of all the parts of the bone that affect by the periosteal matrix. That is change in the shape and size, as I have told you before. And in macroskeletal units, the core, that is the whole bone, will going to affect, the whole bone will going to change because of the capsular matrix. This will going to change the position, that is translation. So this was about the functional matrix theory given by Melvin Moss. The simple line is this, that whatever changes will going to happen in the body, in the skeletal unit of the body, will directly proportional to the functional matrix changes. That is, the capsular matrix and the periosteal matrix will change. The skeletal unit of the body will going to change. This is the simple line for the functional matrix theory. Thank you for watching Pen Dentistry. To know more about me, links are in description box. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon for the latest videos.